Let's also, before I forget, take that Fear Scroll off of our Quick Quiver, because as we've proven in the past, I'm very quick to, geez Louise, even with the resistances, you kids don't exactly fool around. But very much have learned from our past that I will oftentimes quick cast without really thinking about it and find ourselves using up valuable consumables. So in the essence of protecting me from myself, as is almost always necessary, we shall perform the due diligence required to try and avoid any such eventuality, shall we? But okie dokie, your armor is an interesting option for us here. At the very least, we could swap into it for slime. Will we ever swap away from this armor? I guess maybe not. It's not broke, don't fix it, and all that good stuff. But let us drop the javelins that we're almost assuredly never going to use. And at least carry that with us for the moment here. Have it as an option in the back of our minds as something that we could indeed partake in if push comes to shove. Well, I guess not really if push comes to shove, because by that point it's already too late. Hopefully we're better prepared than that. But of course you know what I mean. And now for real, that should just about be the floor for us. Fantastic. Of course, a few more friends are gonna say their hellos here. Welcome. Lovely to meet you. Hate to return your friendliness with a less than cordial orb of destruction to the dome, but I guess such is life, as it were. You got this, Spellforge Servitor. I believe in you. Great work, kiddo. Keep it up. Ziggurat entrance being completely unguarded. I feel like that's a rarity for us in this day and age. Usually it's in one of the sealed off sections with all sorts of fun and exciting friends to prevent us from heading that direction. Okay, it's just the Curari darts there, giving us the purple haze on that son of a gun. I was actually concerned because I saw my Shield of Reflection called out in the log, and for a moment I was worried that that was going to be something on their end that we had to deal with. So that's probably a fairly decent counter to us. Wait a second. 2 Sky Sharks? In depths 3? I was about to say, Norris, you son of a gun. You know what? We have a friend that potentially will take some of the fire for us. So I'm going to start charging. Gotta love Maxwell's capacitive coupling. That is our one-stop shop for dealing with uniques. All right, fantastic. Love to see it. And I guess back into the fray once more here, shall we? Reach out and grab ya. Oh, my poor Spriggan friends. Almost feel sorry for you, but unfortunately it's a murderer eat murderer world out here, and we're all murder hobos looking for adventure, I guess. That's what that boils down to. Whoa, uncalled for to bring in a Hell Sentinel? Holy moly. These demonologists not fooling around, turns out. But fortunately, again, just have some ridiculous damage output, making a large portion of our troubles in life take care of themselves. So love to see it. And we'll just reach out and grab you, my friend, before sending off some intervening orbs of destruction to say hellos, or rather say our hellos for us. Lovely. I feel like I'm very much on the verge of slipping into laziness here, which is, again, a dangerous mindset to find yourselves in any section of DCSS, but definitely even more so important in the later stages of the game. So probably should be keeping that in mind here, which honestly is already a huge improvement over our usual gameplay, because again, I hate to sound like a broken record here, but I'm more than happy to do so if it does mean that we survive, get another win under our belt. It'd be nice to check Makhleb off the list, especially since we're very unlikely to go with this god for any character other than a Djinni, just because that's been my modus operandi for the last couple of updates, really. I feel it's been a while since we found ourselves aiming for a Makhleb run on any other character. Okay, you kids, gonna be a serious problem. A bit less so if I can just continually reach out and grab you, but unfortunately, not always an option, and I don't think that fear is a great option against these sons of guns either. Oh me, oh my. This is very quickly shaping out to be a less than ideal situation. Not sure if this is an encounter that we will find tenable at the end. I guess, you know what, instead of just hypothesizing, let's actually take a look. 64% chance to fear. Actually better than expected. So I think we'll do it, and hopefully, I mean, I was just going to say that hopefully half of you take the hint. We got a decent chunk better than that, so love to see it. And then now we're in a slightly better spot, a bit more open-ended location, so that we can try just IMB ourselves to safety. Ooh-wee. Didn't have to use any blinking scrolls, so that can definitely fall under the win column in my books, but hopefully that's the last we see of that crew, because that is, by large, probably one of our least ideal matchups. And that's saying something when at the end of the day we're, I feel like, lucky. Jeez Louise. That we have Vile Clutch to do a lot of the heavy lifting there. But let's reach out and grab the book. The book is the problem child at the moment. And let's see, do we... Okay, we do safely make it around the bend here. So that's already big improvement. How much damage do you kiddos do? 3d26 Ice Blast? That's too much, man. Don't like that. I also almost accidentally hit a key there and prompted the next turn to begin, so let's not do that. Oof. Yeah, so if we destroy these, that triggers it, right? Because they don't have much health. So there's that going for us. But that's still too much damage, man. And there we go. Feel a bit more experience. Thank you, Spellforge Servitor. Had to go silent there for a moment as I just chunked through the numbers in my brain. Fortunately, Not the end of the world, though. You, on the other hand, run the risk of filling in that void, being the end of the world, that is. At least based on our previous experiences against wasps of the spark variety. So, better safe than sorry. Let's just wheel and deal here. Get out of harm's way for the moment. Actually doing Spellforge Servitor. I don't see why fool around here and not immediately phone a friend when we can use power of said friendship to surmount any obstacle and beat any odds. I guess the real forced friendship were the Spellforge Servitors that we summoned along the way. Again, not only is it a relationship full of hypocrisy and valuing my own safety over that of said friend, but it's also forced friendship. It's essentially on par with our parents paying the Spellforge Servitor to hang out with us. But it's fine. True friendships are made of these. And okie dokie. Guess we've seen a couple of occultists now, and I probably should be double checking that they're not gonna give us a ticket to the abyss here, but that's fine. And right, our Spriggan friend, having a bit of a habit hanging out in deep water, does throw a wee bit of a wrench into our gears here, but nothing we can't handle. And I guess that will pretty much for real be this floor. I guess who knows what this chamber has in store. Hey Juggernaut, how's it going? Perfect. Juggernaut's, of course, being on a similar level to Caustic Strikes in terms of triggering my oh Jesus meter, but the fortunate flip side there is that, much like we were mentioning that Caustic Strikes are the worst possible matchup for us, on the flip side of that, the Juggernauts are pretty much ideal. So we can keep our distance with some amount of relative safety, at least so far. Hopefully that doesn't cease to be the case. Ooh. Now that's some armor. +6 scale mail with the cold resistance would be really nice. I mean, the counter to that comes to mind immediately is that if we have to more often use the willpower ring that we have sitting around, then we don't really gain too much. But I guess the flip side of that is that our protection ring might not be quite so necessary with this armor, as long as we're able to still cast with it. Let's try it out. You can try it on for size and see how we're feeling. And hello, my flayed friend. Perfect. And that will pretty much do us for depths 3. Again, depths 2 and 3 I feel like very quickly took a turn, not for the worst, of course. We're still fairly comfortable, all things considered, but definitely slowed us down after a very quick jaunt through vaults themselves. So I guess just one more floor and then it'll be time to face slime and see what the heck is going on there these days. But capacitive coupling down to a 4% failure rate. Oh, the drain on this leather armor makes it hard to experiment with. But I guess even if we don't end up going with the scale mail, could use the fairy dragon scales as a nice swap for our time in slime, at least get that resist corrosion in body armor form. You know what? Screw it. Let's see. Ooh, that is a rough drain, my friend, and that makes Maxwell's capacitive coupling a non-option. Awesome. Love to see it. Spellcasting, okay, does have a limit set on it for now. What I think we need to do is switch gears and get some armor training, buddy. At the very least, we shouldn't need Maxwell's for Depths 4. This is where we run into like Boris suddenly, and I live to regret this statement. But potentially we're okay to work out the drain, or work off the drain, I should say, with our time here at the end of Depths. Yikes. Do take an orb straight to the face, but I did see the more experienced message, so that is a trade I am willing to make. Hey Menace, how's it going? You are someone that I have far too often in the past underestimated, shall we say. Ooh, and a bunch of cold enemies. I mean, technically, we're in a better spot now to deal with you Sun's guns than we ever have been in the past, so there is that. That's nice. Could also Scroll of Fear. We have a lot of them, and they're gonna go down in effectiveness as we continue onwards. Oh, I just realized where we are too. So never mind, we're probably not hanging around here very much, or at least not for very long, I should say. So if I can take down a couple of these new faces before our inevitable retreat, and that's probably for the best. So with that in mind, gonna stand our ground no matter what comes through that door. Shall stand your ground. Or Knights of Gondor and all that good stuff. Or not, or our angel friend, again, maybe not the most acute perception of their environment here, don't notice us. Hey Brain, how's it going? How have things been on your end, my friend? I should just leave and head to the other stairwell. The issue with that, or not so much the issue, but the consideration that comes to mind is that this is kind of a nice spot to face off against our angel friend. We have a little bit of a nice open area here, open floor plan. Again, red seems to be the go-to decor color, or at least the accent color. You know, it's all about how you frame things. When you're trying to sell a dungeon to the highest bidder, it's all about the perspective and how you frame it. So we got to make sure to use the most illustrious language we possibly can in order to describe even the most mundane of accoutrements here. But more importantly, where the heck did you go, my angel friend? Ah. Speak of the devil and they shall appear. Though I guess that expression holds its own kind of special irony in this context, but that's fine. Hey, Thalfon, it's Breaking the All Gods run. It is not. It is actually currently making the progress towards Makhleb, who we hadn't actually gone to victory with. At least I don't believe so. I did do a scrub a while back. I'm worried that I might have missed out on something, especially since a huge indicator when I'm scrolling through the huge list of backlogged videos is seeing like how many episodes is it, or how many sections did I cut it up into, because I generally do not win runs in under 3 hours, but definitely could have missed one. Regardless, I think we had our bases covered there. Ooh. We lose our +3 intelligence for +5 intelligence. What am I talking about? Yes, please. It's fragile, so we won't be unequipping it, but we're now actually in a decent spot to never need to. And that actually changes gears for us as well. That resist cold 3 pips is awesome. Makhleb is such a universal one. Kind of surprising it wasn't down yet. Me too. I do feel like we had one or two very promising Djinnis, because again, I feel like Djinnis are the only characters that I really follow Makhleb under anymore. And I think we had a couple of very promising ones that I inevitably managed to pilot into an untimely demise, as is so often the case. But yes, yeah, it is slightly surprising we find ourselves here. The scale mail is 3 AC better. That's probably still a worthy trade. I also need to keep in mind willpower. Willpower is important once again here. So let's actually throw that bad boy on, because at the end of the day, we'll likely have a turn to recognize an electric threat, but not so much for a sudden paralysis that very quickly cascades into a horrendous situation, so that's fine. Okie dokie. Well, this has been a very rapid succession of events that change our game plan. We're still going to go down and finish depths. I think that much is a given. But I'm just in a full reassessment mode now for all of our equipment. Is there anything else? I have no cloak? What am I doing with my life? Okay, well, maybe that has something to do with it. Oh my gosh. One armor class is still something, so I will run back, throw that bad boy on, and that actually almost makes up for the change from scale mail to fairy dragon scales on its own. So can't complain there. And well, yeah, screw it. Let's head back here. That menace is gonna surprise us somewhere, and odds are it's gonna be when we least expect it and not at all prepared to deal with the unique. So let's just keep that in the back of our minds. But besides them, we're otherwise, I think, in a fairly comfortable position. I do not have any electricity resistance. Note that, Torinski. Take it to heart, and let's not do anything too foolish here. I mean, at the end of the day, we do have a lot going for us in terms of IMB being fairly comfortable way of, or a fairly comfortable way, I should say, of dealing with these ugly things as they approach. In fact, yeah, no real issues there. But again, rather safe than sorry when it comes to at least pretending that anything and everything is a threat, regardless of the validity of that assessment.